Welcome back to the Slice Tennis Podcast presented by Betway. Right now, you're here, and if it's on audio, you're listening to me, JP Hovey, and in about 2 seconds, you're going to be hearing from Steven Boughton. Steven, it's been going down in the tennis world today. You've been cranking out videos every which way the last 2 weeks. You've been grinding. If you guys have not seen those videos, go check them out. It is worth it. And overall, the tennis has a busy week, and you've had a busy week. What you've been doing?
That's correct. Tennis has had a seriously busy week. We've got drama. We've got amazing draws in the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. Some of those matches will be done by the time you guys are listening to this. My week been kind of crazy. I moved, so I'm at a new house, and we got the studio in the basement. You guys know that we grind. I've been in multiple locations with this show, probably 10 plus, I would say at this point. So setting up this, getting moved, moving's fun for all those who have done it. That's basically just been my week. And then watching tennis every morning, waking up at 5:30, no matter what time I go to bed, watching the tennis, tweeting, keeping you guys up to date, giving you the slice. So my week hasn't done much outside of moving and tennis. How about you, JP?
Amazing. Hey, on the topic of moving, I'm also prepping for a move. The apartment we're supposed to move into hit us with some bad news last week, and they said,
"Oh no,
you guys were supposed to move in. We know you're supposed to move in July 29th or 26th, but your apartment will not be ready until August 9th, which causes a lot of problems because I'm currently in my lease right now. Our landlord is awesome. We can do month to month. But my question for you is, we have the option to live on the 4th floor or the 1st floor. Which floor would you like to choose? And if you are listening or watching the show, please comment which floor is better to live on in the apartment.
Yes, because do you have pets?
No pets.
Okay, so it's like, do you want the view, the sun? I don't know what your situation is, or do you want like easy access? Like, would your suite on the bottom floor have like its own door that you can come in and out of?
No, you still would have to use the apartment's like main doors, but there's like, if you wanted to climb the fence, you probably could, of the little porch thing.
If you wanted to like, break into your own complex every day, like fine,
right?
Like weird thing. But yeah, I feel like living in a condo, the most annoying thing for me was like coming through 6 doors to get into your place. So if there's no difference to that, like, I don't know, kind of being in the sky is kind of nice. Like, is the 4th floor the top floor or no?
It is the top floor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice. No one above you.
No one above you. I know. And we don't really have too much stuff as far as furniture goes. So I've just been going back and forth. I did run a poll on Twitter, and it was funny because in the replies, they were loud. People in the replies were loud about the top floor.
Oh, yeah?
But the
like they
winner
said top
of the
floor.
Right, but the winner of the poll was the bottom floor. They just weren't speaking out.
Wow.
So
they're like, so more people voted for the bottom floor, but there was like people who wanted the top floor were like, you got to be on the top.
Exactly.
Get that sunlight.
So,
mental health.
The silent majority says bottom. I don't know. I got to make a decision soon. But
I don't know what's crime like there in Nashville. You don't, no one's breaking and entering on the 4th floor. I'm just saying that.
That is true. Crime is not horrible. There's a lot of some different rules and laws here in this state that probably don't fly as much in Canada. But let's just say we're not worried about safety right now.
Yeah, we're talking about personal safety. And
yes,
the ways that to the lengths that you can go to make sure that stays intact.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, moving is pain in the butt. So I wish you the best with that, JP. I liked you brought up before the show if you could pick, and this is kind of, we want to hear your if you're listening to this, your thoughts on this, top 3 ways you could win a major. Is that it, JP?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so I thought about this, and then we'll get into our top stories, which are going to be, I should recap actually quickly. Our top 3 stories are going to be Emma Raducanu and, her pulling out of the match with Andy Murray, and then her consequently losing, and Andy Murray's mom saying what she said. And then the second story will Djokovic's thoughts on tennis, saying tennis is in a very unstable place at the club level and something needs to change fast. So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about the handshakes and the post-match drama. Taylor Fritz, handshake moment, have a nice flight home, and Djokovic saying to have a good night.
Let's go.
That's
Taylor
a lot to get
Fritz
into.
coming alive right now, personality-wise.
Yeah, having a moment. His girlfriend's helping him. But on the topic right now, so top 3 ways to win a major. Like if I was going to win a major, which is, never out of the question, but not looking likely. I thought about this, and to me, it's like all these things could be combined. Like there's 3 different ways, but
Let me hear. Let me hear
Yeah.
3 first. Number 3 first, and then go down to 1.
Okay. Well, I think just coming back from down 2-0 in sets to win in 5 would be yeah, that would be about as good as it could get.
Yep.
What about you?
My number 3 is the same thing, but to take it a step further into the detailed way, I want to be down. I want to lose the first two sets, 0-6, to where people are turning the TV off. They're like, this kid lost. And then
double bagel.
It's not until about an hour 15 later, they hop on Twitter and they see, oh, Hovey takes 3rd set. Hovey forces tiebreak in 4th set. And then they're like, we got to turn this back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. That's the double bagel turnaround. I don't know all the stats, but I'm pretty sure it's never happened in a major final.
Right. We're trying to make history.
Okay. Well then, so I think the second way, and this is kind of off real life experiences, when Djokovic beat Nadal, 6-hour match at the Australian Open 2011. I can only imagine the feeling of actually winning after that much time, where neither guy could barely walk. They were falling over after every few points, and to come out winning that would just be the best feeling. When he hit that forehand winner, inside out winner to win, and he just falls over. I couldn't, that would be the craziest feeling ever. And then losing that would be the most devastating thing ever, because you're that was all for nothing.
Right.
I might as well have got triple bageled.
Yeah, dude. I mean, because obviously pretty much all the coverage after that match is Djokovic wins, whatever. And I wish there was some way. That's why I wish we had more access into tennis to see Nadal's reaction after and maybe get some interviews, whatever it is from him. But because that just has to be
in the locker room.
Moment.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. No, how about you? What's your number 2?
Number 2, I would want to win, similar to you, a 5-setter, but every single set is a tiebreak. And
5 tiebreak. So it's at Wimbledon, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. It's at Wimbledon. We're breaking the record for most tiebreaks in a Grand Slam tournament. We are the 38th match or whatever it is that needs to break the record. And I want the last one, though. I would want the last tiebreak to be utter domination of they don't score a single point in it.
You just run away with it.
So there's no question after of oh man, anybody could have won this one. It's nah.
Right. Yeah. Because they always say a tiebreaker is like a coin flip, but you're no, I just won 7-0. Or I guess it would be super tiebreaker in the majors, so that would be 10-0.
Give me that 10-0. What's the number 1 for you?
Number 1 for me is just doing it on. I mean, I didn't actually have it ranked like this, so this was I would have it just doing it on a return winner. So on that shot. So Federer, I believe in 2009 U.S. Open when he beat Djokovic, the second last point. I don't know if you remember this, in the semifinal before he made the major, where the final was that tweener winner. It's the greatest tweener ever hit to pass Djokovic at the net.
Yeah.
And that's the original one where it was just an actually insanely good shot, hard. And then that set up match point. And then the next point was Djokovic serving. And then Federer just runs around and smashes the forehand winner up the line. It's that point combo is just so gangster. And he's just it's such an emphatic way to win a match. So basically combining all 3 of these, coming back from 0-2 down, 6-hour match, and then winning it with a return winner would just be the ultimate way for me to win anything, even my backyard tennis match. But yeah, a major that'd be my way to do it.
I love that. And it kind of has mine involved in it because I've been kind of going back and forth between hitting almost a trick shot to win, whether it's a tweener, a little behind the back action, something tricky, something cheeky, or maybe just absolutely running through somebody and beating them like 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. They can get a game in each set. But I think I would like to.
Do you think that'd be kind of boring? That'd be one of those finals that no one remembers.
It would be. Nobody would remember it except me because I'd be like, man, nobody stood a chance against me this week.
Yeah, that's that's a good point for the fans. You don't like to see those blowouts in a major final, but when Federer's destroying Cilic in the final of Wimbledon, he still won Wimbledon. It doesn't matter to him. It's less stress. Never broke a sweat. So I feel you.
Dude, I have another question for you, kind of off that, but this is more in your personal sports career.
Yeah.
Did you ever hit a game winner in any sport you played, or have that moment, have a glorious moment in your sports career?
Not like that. No, my sports career, I played for a very small high school and I was always on the small team. So we were losing a lot. I was I just got used to losing. It doesn't even scare me anymore. I'll lose any day of the week. I just want to play well. But yeah, we didn't have too many. We didn't have too many Cinderella moments. I'll just be straight up.
The most dangerous man to take on is a man with nothing to lose.
That's true. That's true.
Dang. But yeah.
What about you? Did you have that? Did you have a walkout? You look like an All-American kind of guy who ran had a what's it called, a pick six to win the state championship or something.
Man, in football that would have been a dream. Unfortunately, football, I played wide receiver for a little bit, then I just switched to kicking and punting because I played soccer.
Yeah.
But in soccer, I'll throw it to my middle school days, 8th grade. I hit this streak of games where I think it was either 4 or 5 games in a row. I had a game tying or game winning goal in the last 5 minutes.
Holy crap.
Don't worry, everybody. This is not me tooting my own horn because things went downhill fast for me past middle school. I was no longer the best player on any of my teams. So let me have this moment of 8th grade glory that I can share with everyone because it was the greatest thing in my life.
You peaked in 8th grade. That's okay.
5th grade and 8th grade.
Or 8th grade. Yeah. That's those moments, man. I think that's one of the things that puts tennis apart from other sports is the way that these events finish. It always finishes with one single point.
Right.
Not always a cool point, but no matter what, the person's hitting it, even if your opponent's double faulting, you just win right there.
Yeah.
In other sports, sometimes the clock's winding down. It's kind of a lame way for it to win. There's not the epic finish, but if you hit a winner or hit, or you're, hit an ace, you're the one hitting the final shot.
Right.
It's just such a cool way to do it. And it's just the whole moment of it. It's just pretty epic.
Yeah. It's like Chris Fowler. He was explaining why he friend of the show too. Friend of the show.
Shout out. We're gonna have you back on, Chris.
Chris, we need you. I need you. But I saw he posted a video of why he loves the UFC so much, and he related it to how he's newer into UFC, but for the same reasons he loves tennis, he loved the UFC, where it's just one-on-one, and pretty much just what you were saying, the fighter is in complete control of if they win or not.
Yeah.
And so it was a great description by you and him.
Wow. Well, thanks for putting us in the same sentence. That's an honor. Speaking of an honor, it was an honor for Emma Raducanu to be playing mixed doubles with Andy Murray, and it didn't go that way. It never ended up happening. Emma Raducanu pulled out of their match because she was still alive in singles at the time, and it just went crazy on tennis Twitter. We had Judy Murray, Andy's mom, putting out a tweet. Apparently, it was it was sarcastic, but no one took it that way. She had to block her Twitter so people couldn't comment on it. They were just cooking her. What did you think about that, JP?
I loved it. I loved every part of it because I think I'm team Andy Murray on it. Yet I understand Emma Raducanu's thing, and if I'm her, she's the only one that knows how she feels. And ultimately you're there to win Wimbledon in singles. Mixed doubles is just the, icing on the cake. And but it is Andy Murray, and he's a legend in the country. It just kind of
Yeah.
pained me to see it, especially with her losing. I mean, obviously she doesn't know she's going to lose the next match, but I wonder if after she lost, if she thought, "Oh man, I'm about to get grilled for not playing with Andy."
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that would be the case, and I said that in a tweet, and then my kind of thinking on it changed a bit. Like she was still in the draw to win
Right.
Wimbledon in singles, and this does happen all the time. Like when you're playing doubles with someone, and like when you're like making the quarterfinals, or you're like, "Hey, bro, I gotta like be in top prep for this." Like, sorry, and it's kind of like a unwritten rule. I think that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was just, it obviously got weird because it's like Andy Murray was supposed to have like another moment there where it's like, oh, that wasn't his last match. He's got another one coming up. But as we talked about before, JP, like how many finales can you have? Like they had this amazing send off for Andy Murray at the doubles match where he lost with his brother, and that was amazing. Like that's as good as it gets, I think. But it's almost
Yeah.
like it's like not saying goodbye. It's like, oh, I don't want to say goodbye. It's like when people are like walking away, they're like, "See you, bro." It's like, "See ya." Like, "See you, dude."
Right.
Like you just like never like
Right.
actually you don't want it's like don't want to cut it off. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree with you, and I think the only person, because I mean, obviously Andy Murray, he never came out and said anything about it, right?
No, I don't think he did. Yeah, his mom tweeted him right away, which I'm trying to find right now because it was like it's way too good. Like
Yeah.
I think she said,
She
"Do you have it right
replied
there?"
and said, so somebody tweeted, astonishing news that Emma Raducanu has withdrawn from a mixed doubles match with Andy Murray. She's citing soreness in her right wrist. It means
Yeah.
Murray has played his last Wimbledon. And she said, yes, astonishing.
Yeah. So it's like it's all way too good. It's like
Way too good.
apparently. So she says that apparently she was being sarcastic, and then Lulu's son, who beats Emma Raducanu in the
Yes.
next match, is literally wearing a logo that says "Astonish" right there. Like she should have just wrote like "astonishing" like with an
Sponsored,
ing at
bro.
the end. Like, how does that work out? What is the coincidence? What are the odds of that happening? That was way too good. And she ends Emma Raducanu's run, so maybe she was sponsored by Judy Murray.
Right. And the honestly, the person that caught the biggest L of the whole situation was Federer.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't there for Andy and Jamie's thing, because I forget what they said he had to go to.
He said he had prior commitments.
Right. Prior commitments, which I'm sure he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
And so he legit just came back to watch Andy Murray be on court, send him off,
Yeah.
and instead, luckily he was watching a good match earlier in the day with Shelton and Dennis. But he's sitting there just like probably got the notification on his phone that she pulled out, and he's like, "Man, what what am I
He's like,
doing here?"
she did not run that by me first. Like he's
Right.
like, now I'm gonna go. I guess I'll go watch Ben Shelton, and like protect my investment. Wearing the on.
Yeah, he's like, "Man, I
That's a
used to
good
have
point,
some."
JP. I hadn't thought of that. Where was his prior commitment? Maybe he saw the draw come out and was like, you know what, Andy and his brother, they're gonna win the first match, and then they end up losing. He's like, dude, I'm over in Paris for like some like investor update or something, and then now I have to fly back, and then she pulls out. So yeah, that's a good point. He was probably just like, you guys can't get it. You guys can't have anything right. Like the Laver Cup. Like, why don't you just build
Right.
your own event and then retire at it so you can control all the variables?
And also, because I was scrolling through all those tweets about, Judy Murray, and there's a lot of Judy Murray haters out there on the internet. And
Oh
I
yeah,
wasn't aware. I didn't know that. I don't know if this was like a thing throughout his career. People were like, she's been controlling this whole time. And it kind of just made me laugh because it's such a childish sort of argument. I feel like when you're growing up playing sports, there's always like the one nagging mom that your friends will talk about amongst yourselves, like, "Oh my
yeah,
gosh, Miss So and so is so annoying." But it's
yeah,
usually not the mother of somebody as cool and funny as Andy Murray. So I'm not buying the Judy Murray slander.
yeah. Like, well, Andy Murray's like one of the most, I feel like, level-headed, self-aware people out there. He's always saying the right thing in press, and then yeah, Judy's always kind of just been like seemingly, I think, great. Like I think she's like respected by a lot of people, but she has always kind of found a way to insert herself into the headlines somehow. Like she'll
Right.
just like, she's just there. Like Andy Murray's dad, like you're never hearing anything about him. Like
Yeah.
you definitely hear about Judy Murray. But I think she was a tennis coach. I should know that. But like, so that is kind of the more of the story. Like she like taught him growing up. That could be wrong. I could be thinking about someone else.
No,
But
I think
anyways,
you're
yeah,
right.
she has been. I don't know if she has hate, but tennis Twitter is just like that. They're just like because Emma Raducanu has had a ton of hate as well. Just like from winning the U.S. Open, and then like anytime she loses, people are just like roasting her, calling her washed up. So then now she's winning and she pulls out. People are freaking out, and then people freaked out more about Judy Murray putting out a sarcastic comment, which
Ugh,
obviously was ill-timed. It's like you just don't have to say anything.
you
But
you
yeah,
got
pretty
you
crazy.
gotta love the drama.
Yeah, you gotta love the drama. What do we got next here, JP?
Next, some more drama, but in a more serious note, is
Right.
Djokovic after, I believe, oh man, was it after the third round? He went on his rant. It was either third round or fourth.
No, it's third because we just finished the fourth today. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been third.
It's and so I'll read just it's a long quote, but I'll read some of it.
Yeah. Do you know what the question was that set that up, or like why he was talking about that?
No, actually I didn't. I don't think I did hear the question.
That's good. You read the quote, and I'll see what I can find.
All right, cool. So it starts out, if we don't do something about it globally, they're going to convert all the tennis clubs into paddle or pickleball. In terms of innovation in our sport, other than slams, we have to figure out how to attract a young audience. Tennis, on one hand, is in a good place, but at the same time, when we look at Formula One, for example, what they've done in terms of marketing, in terms of growth, in terms of races around the world and how popular they are, I think we need to do a better job on our respective tours. The Grand Slams will always do well. The PTPA did a study from 3 or 4 years ago that showed tennis is the third or fourth most watched sport in the world, along with cricket. But it's also number 9 or 10 on the list of all sports in terms of using its popularity, commercializing, or capitalizing on it. And I'm going to scroll down real quick. Tennis is a very global sport, and it's loved by millions of children that pick up a racket that want to play, but we don't make it accessible. We don't make it affordable, especially in countries like mine, yada, yada, yada. And then it's just more financially viable for the owner of the club to have those courts for pickleball. And then it kind of just falls off out of there. But he doesn't think
Yeah.
they've been addressing it in the correct way. The rise of pickleball, the rise of paddle.
Yeah, and it's a tough one because I think it is clear that pickleball is more user friendly. I know it's like hugely popular in the States, and I think that's why. Like, I don't. I think he splits it up correctly. Like, it's not tennis is not in danger. I don't think of paddle or pickle taking over Wimbledon. Like, there's not going to be like or like the commercial pro level aspects of the tournament
Right.
or the sport. That's not in trouble. Like, it's the king of racket sports for sure. But he's saying like at the club level where you develop young players and you develop the Carlos Alcaraz and stuff like these these tennis courts and clubs are getting converted to paddle and pickleball courts. Yeah, because you can fit like 4 on one, or you can fit more courts in the same amount of space for these other ones, and they're easier to play as well. So I think that's what
Right.
he's alluding to. I just don't know how that came up, but
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't really
think
matter.
too.
Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think because he's always been big on the barrier to entry into tennis. Like it's an expensive
Correct.
sport and all of that, and it's sort of like in the U.S. One of like our soccer team is not very good, but the barrier to entry in soccer, like soccer is an expensive sport in the U.S., but it's not an expensive sport in South America, in
Right.
Europe, in Spain, whatever. Like people are just out playing in the yard, and I think when you do make it easier to access, you're going to get your best athletes. Our best athletes in this country are playing football and basketball. They're the cheapest sports. And so I think if we, especially the US, was able to get one of these guys, one of these freak athletes out of the NBA, I'm just picturing somebody as
Yeah.
fast and tall and big and strong as LeBron James covering the tennis court. It would be a scary sight. And I think a lot of that comes down to the sport being expensive. It cuts out a large group of people from playing. So
Yeah, that's totally right. And I think that was part of the question. The question I just see here was it was around how, like, making tennis more, like, growing the game. It's always, everyone is always wondering how to grow the game, make it more interesting. And I think they talked about making the majors. He was quizzed, it says, on making the majors like 3 sets instead of 5, and he
yeah,
thought like that wasn't a good way to innovate the sport. But I think he went on to say, like, it needs to innovate, because if it doesn't, we're getting crushed at the club level by these other sports.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's I don't know what to say. It's I think countries got to, like, I think things evolve. I think to me, I don't feel this desperate need for it to keep growing. Like, I think tennis has pretty much gotten as big as it can get. I think making
mhm,
it more accessible is the key, like,
right,
um to his point. And federations, like, I think the USTA and Tennis Canada do that. Like, that's their jobs, at least. I don't know how well they actually do it. There could be some audit done on that, because the amount of,
yeah,
I know, for example, like, all the heads of the USTA are getting paid, like, literally millions of dollars per year. Like, the CEO of the USTA is, like, literally his salary is over $1 million a year, and you're like, that's cool. Like, he's a big corporation, I guess, but, like, that could build a lot of tennis courts, so that could pay for a lot of kids, and then all the way down, like, I don't know, this, I'm sure no one from Tennis Canada is listening to this, but I look at what their organization, and it's just like they have probably 100 employees, or I don't know how many, 50 to 100, and it's just this
right,
massive payroll of people doing, like, I don't know what they do. Like,
yeah,
they put on one tournament a year, and that provides 90% of the revenue for tennis in Canada. And they're, like, building a few courts here and there, and they're making tennis happen, and I guess no one else would.
right,
But really, it's like, I think dollars going into the sport need to be, like, accounted for, and like go as far as possible, because
yeah,
everyone's trying to gobble them up. Whether it's like the prize money at Wimbledon getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that doesn't really help anyone.
right,
Get to there. Like, I did see, we were talking about, JP, at the beginning, how the prize money increased, and in the first round it increased, but it increased more, like, at a higher percentage increase for the finalist than it did for the first rounder. So that,
right,
no, like, whoever's winning the Wimbledon doesn't care about money anymore. Like, they don't need money. So
exactly,
yeah,
yeah,
I think that's just my entire bigger picture rant, I guess,
right,
about where the money's
yeah.
going.
I think there's like one good illustration in my head of how crazy it is, because I used to work at IMG Academy, for those who don't know, which
Yeah,
was formerly Nick Bollettieri's tennis academy. And for a kid to go there, and this is obviously this is like the, whatever the word is, the outlier for academies, I'm sure, but maybe not. I don't know enough about them all. But it costs $80,000 a year to go to IMG without a scholarship, and there are
it's
kids that
crazy.
go from 6th through 12th grade. You do the math. That's absurd, and it's just,
Yeah,
I mean, that is one percenters are able to afford that, and
yeah,
what does that mean for the other 99% of kids that might have been interested in tennis had they just been able to afford to go even just to a camp?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then I think the next biggest thing would be the storytelling of more players. We just don't know enough about these guys. Like, we'll see, especially now when there's no Federer, Nadal. People know about Alcaraz and they know about Sinner, but this whole Wimbledon draw, we're getting to see all these new names in the quarterfinals and making it to the second week. But we don't really know anything about these people's personalities, their personal life. And in every other sport, that's not the case. NBA players are known, college basketball players are known, college football players are known, and NFL players, like, they
yeah,
just have
yeah.
dropped the ball.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a million. I think there's a bunch of ways that the sport can improve. I will say one thing, positive about Canada is I find, like, there's a lot of public tennis courts here that are just free to play on, and theoretically, like, to be fair, Canada's main sport is hockey, which is
Right.
way more expensive than tennis. I will say
Yeah.
that. Like, to play tennis, you need a racket. You need one racket if you're a junior, and that's like $200.
Right.
And you need to enter these tournaments and drive around. But essentially, you could just take balls and go out and play for free. in Canada. And the issue, JP, is in Europe, in a ton of places in Europe, it's not like that. There's not just public tennis courts everywhere, is
Gotcha.
my understanding. So it's like you have to join a club, or you have to be part of a club, or you have to pay for time. So it gets more expensive there. And Djokovic, all these people are in Europe talking about it there. So
Right.
that is
That's a great
Canada's
point.
Canada's got a more public funding. Like there's courts like not too far from you in any big city here, so
Yeah.
that are free to use. So yeah. Anyways, that's definitely an interesting topic that Djokovic, man of the people, was able to talk on again.
Yes.
Okay, what's next? Now that was the politically correct. Now this is the politically incorrect. We had Taylor Fritz with the amazing "Have a nice flight home" handshake, and Djokovic saying, "Everyone who hated on me and disrespected to me, have a good night." What do you think about that, JP? Like, do you love that?
I love it, man, especially out of Taylor Fritz, because when the best sample size we have of him truly, I feel like, is Breakpoint. And in Breakpoint, he seemed pretty shelled up and he came
Yeah,
across as shy to the
yeah,
viewer. And so this had shock value. Shock value is good. Shock value is
yeah.
needed in tennis. And it just creates, like, now you can't wait until the next time hopefully he plays him, because there'll be some
Absolutely.
beef. And I just love rivalries that are born out of these types of moments are what make people tune in.
Absolutely. You just need Rindernets to be like a better player
I
for it to
know.
really be epic. Like they're not going to play that much, and they're not going to be playing in like the semifinals of Wimbledon. Can you imagine if it was like he had that beef with like Yannick Sinner or something, and they're always
Right.
they're going to be playing for the next 10 years? Like that'd be hilarious.
I know. And I don't know if you have more to say on his "Have a nice flight." But
I, yeah,
his
go ahead.
the Zverev moment as well, we'll need to touch on.
For sure. No, on the "Have a nice flight," I love that. I literally love that. And you know how this all started, right?
Yeah.
This was back in the French Open last year. And I love that. Like the French crowd is absolutely out of control. Like I've been in Paris watching them, and even they had my guy Felix Auger-Aliassime, which is probably the nicest, most kind, chill guy on tour, giving it like literally turning around after this 3-hour battle and just staring at this kid, just going walking all the way to the net, just telling him to shut up. It was like amazing. Broke into the top 10 after that, made the ATP finals. Hasn't gone well since, but
Yeah.
that's beside the point. Like I love that. So, and then yeah, Rindernech, I almost love what he said too. Like before the match, like you got to respect it both ways. So
Dude.
he comes before the match. He's like, "Hey, maybe Taylor won't cry this time about the crowd because it's going to be quieter because we're not in France." It's like, hey, whatever you got to do to get the guy off his game, because you're definitely the underdog. So I love that. That never happens in tennis where you guys have guys smack talking before the match. So
Exactly.
I love that.
And like you kind of just touched on, it's going to bring out the best in players, and it'll bring out the worst in them also. All of it's entertaining, but if you're Fritz, maybe that's what he needed to break through. He could make his first ever semifinal.
Well, he
And
literally said that. He said, I saw it on a Tennis Channel interview. He said, "I've never lost to someone who's pissed me off before or during a match. Never once in my life." And he was like confident in that. I was like, damn. So when you're playing Lorenzo Musetti, just like, imagine that he was like flirting with your mom or something outside the Wimbledon gates. Like,
yeah, flirting with your
you know,
girlfriend.
exactly. He's like DMing Morgan on TikTok. Just imagine that. And then you'll go beast mode on him.
Yes, which Morgan, she was on TikTok, and she did cause some problems with Zverev. I don't
She
know
was
how
going
much you.
beast mode.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that was a good move by her?
I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, it's again, it's entertainment product. She was
Yeah.
saying, because of the abuse allegations that have been, settled out of court. And so I guess that now like justice has been served. So I don't know if it's still a thing, but
Right.
that was domestic violence. So she said like won this one for the girlies, like, screw Zverev. And literally on tennis Twitter, I don't know if you've seen it, everyone hates Zverev on tennis Twitter.
I know.
My understanding, though, is that in the locker room, he's like pretty liked, and like all the guys like him, and it's fine. So I thought that was like even Taylor didn't like out him afterwards because apparently at the net, Zverev said to him, he's like, "Hey, some of your box was like kind of going like that was a bit far," and then he was like, he seemed to be more like, "Okay, yeah, I know what you mean." He wasn't like, yeah, he was like complaining about my box. What a dork! Like he could have said that afterwards, but he like anyway. So I don't know if that like what Morgan did like helps the locker room vibe. Probably
Right.
doesn't matter, to be honest. I don't know. What about you? I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah. I think that it will for sure make it weird the next time Fritz and Zverev see each other because,
Yeah,
oh, I know that. Wait, Morgan's her name, right?
yeah, yeah.
So she did delete it, and so that was a conversation amongst her
It,
and Taylor, and
it was just like,
he's like, "Why can't you just take this bowl of Chipotle and just not tweet this video out one time?
he's
Enjoy
like,
this."
how are you helping me? How is this helping me?
Right. And so clearly a conversation was had, and Zverev's current girlfriend, obviously she's not really out there too much, but she looks pretty badass, and I feel like she might not be one to mess with when it comes to talking smack about boys. I'm really only saying that because she's got the tattoo sleeve,
You
which
got
I
the
think is
sleeve.
super
Yeah.
super dope.
No, there's no question that if there was a girlfriend match off UFC style, there's no chance Morgan Riddle's walking out of that one. Let's just be fair.
Right.
Let's just be fair.
But yeah, no,
Oh,
I think overall, I mean, it is funny. It's hopefully Fritz and Zverev are able to laugh about it because, I mean, I guess it was a little bit malicious and she shouldn't have said it. But Zverev, that guy has dealt with the most on social media when it comes to people criticizing him.
oh, for sure. And now he's lost like 3 majors in a row where the match that he lost was from 2 sets to love up.
Do you think it's real? Do you think he chokes?
Yeah. Yeah. Do I think he chokes?
Yeah,
Yes, I do think he chokes. He definitely gets tight and he definitely chokes. Today he was physically compromised. So like he
right.
got out to a 2 sets to love lead, just kind of like swinging through the ball with his arms, and then, uh, and then, but yeah, like, and then he was just kind of cooked. You could see it. So it wasn't really like a great indicator of his level, but no, he's like a notorious historical choker in the majors, and that's a fact. So it's not anything against him. It's just like, unfortunately, how it's been. I don't know. Are you a fan of him in general? I feel like you got some love for Alexander Zverev.
Dude, I do have love for him because I feel like he needs love. A lot of the fans hate on him so much, and I always feel like I have a soft spot for these players that. I mean, I don't know his whole situation, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know enough about the whole domestic violence
Yeah.
thing to speak on it. But I like Zverev. I like the way he plays. I like his attitude, and I like that he has the way that he kind of carries the villain role is, I think, pretty good. He's not like super outspoken. He sort of lets people just hate on him, but you can see it. You can see that winning matches and winning big points means a lot to him, and
Yeah.
it's because he knows most times everybody in the crowd is rooting against him. So
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Zver-
Could be. And
Zverev,
and I think I do want to correct myself. He didn't lose the French Open from 2 sets up. He was 2 sets to 1 up in the French Open final over Alcaraz and then lost. But
gotcha.
yeah, I know what you mean. He's got like a lot of pent up steam whenever he like wins a match, and
Right.
yeah, he's an interesting cat. I'll just say that for sure. He's an interesting cat.
Would love to have him on the show.
Open invite for sure. And then I guess Joe, what do you think, JP, about Djokovic's? That just happened like a couple hours ago. Djokovic just going full gloves off, just being like, "Screw anyone in the crowd who disrespects me. I demand to be respected." What do you
Dude,
think about that?
again, I mean, again, I'm a Djokovic fan as well. So I was stoked to see it. I know we keep bringing up tennis Twitter, a lot of tennis Twitter. Maybe it was kind of split this time, but I was seeing a lot of hate towards him. Like, this guy, man, he's won all these Grand Slams and he's still acting. He just has to do whatever it takes for him to be the villain. And this is why nobody likes him. He's a prick. He's this, he's that. And my favorite part about it, because I clap back to one of the haters on Twitter,
Yeah,
is It really bothers me across any sport when it's people talking behind some fake usernames and a fake little profile picture. I'm like, oh yeah, man, you must be
Yeah,
real brave to be talking about him, calling this guy a prick. You're not even putting your face out there. So
that's a
good
good
night to
point.
you, Twitter man.
Good night to you. Yeah, like I honestly loved it. I said it earlier in the quarterfinal preview. I love that version of Djokovic because that's him being his authentic self. Like
Right.
when he's doing the whole like love VW to the crowd, like kind of like I want everyone to love me. It's like not everyone's gonna love you, and that's like, and actually,
Yeah.
the way you've acted your entire career makes more people not love you than Federer and Nadal, and that's okay. And he's kind
Right.
of like, I think when he kind of like actually goes and like calls people out and like goes like this to people in the crowd and just goes after them, I feel like he's like being more authentic, and that's
Right.
like I would do the same thing. Like if I'm like I love smack talk, I love like playing like a grimy way, like if you're talking about hockey, so I would like probably get into it with fans because that's just my personality. But then I wouldn't also expect to be loved like Federer is or
Right.
Nadal is, and he does, and like he does expect to be loved to them, and like is like offended that he's not, and that's what blows my mind about him. It's like he will it's like he can't see, he's not self-aware in that way that he's like, oh, like I've smashed 150 rackets in my career. Federer did 1, Nadal's done 0. There's just like that's the difference right there. You just play with your heart in your sleeve. Those guys don't.
I
Like
know.
you're just a psycho and they're not. Like it's just like I don't know. Maybe that's why you won more majors than they did. I don't
I
know.
think
It's like just
so.
be okay with that. I don't know.
I don't know if I said it on here or if I was just talking to somebody else, but I think that like Federer and Nadal love tennis more than Djokovic, but Djokovic loves winning more than those two.
I think so. Yeah. I think he
Um,
like maybe like doesn't fear losing as much. And maybe that's why he was able to get over the line a little bit more in some of those. Like
right.
there's that one classic US Open 2011 where he hits that crazy return winner, which was a fluke, by the way. Uh, because he didn't care. Like he was like, I've lost to Federer like 20 times already. Like it's like
Right.
it'll just be another one. I'm the younger player. I shouldn't win this. Then he hits the line, then he goes on to win. He's playing with less to lose. Like you said, beware the man who has playing with nothing to lose.
Yes, sir. Hey, but another little quick shout out to Djokovic. Did you see the video of him rolling up the tarp with the ball boys, the grounds crew? I
Yes,
mean,
I did see that. Great PR stunt. Trying to get a few more of those likes.
oh,
Few more of those likes. He's like, look, I'm a good guy. I'm with the kids. And while he's like smashing rackets right beside the ball boys' heads, like
you think it was a PR stunt?
100%. No, I think he's.
No.
I think it's more of like a Wimbledon PR stunt. Like it's not like Djokovic is like, hey, take this video of me. I think Wimbledon. I think Djokovic does stuff like that because he is a man of the people and he
Right.
is like that, and he's just doing it. And then Wimbledon's like all over it, which is fair
Yeah.
enough.
I think Djokovic
I'm not
has
hating.
a
I'm
soft
not
spot
trying
for
to hate that much. That was it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like served up for the views. Like people love to see that.
Yeah, I'm one of them out there sharing it, man. It doesn't
I
get
know
any better than
you're a
this.
sucker for motivation. You said that. You're a sucker for motivation. You like to, and Nick Kyrgios was there apparently as well on that same piece, rolling it up. No camera on him.
Hey, that's on Nick and his team. They got to get that sorted out.
They got to pull some strings, make some calls.
Yes. Oh,
That
hey,
is
real quick, how do you feel about Nick in the booth? Are you a fan? Are you a fan of John Isner in the booth?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a fan, although they are taking my job. Like every time a pro retires and then goes into tennis media, I'm like, that's one less. That's another round of jobs I'm not getting
Yeah.
because they're like out there. But you need the pros in the booth, and I think Nick is one of the best to have in there because he's hilarious and he actually knows what like the creativity of like because he is objectively one of the most talented tennis players of all time.
Right.
And so he knows how to talk about the game like in a cool way. And yeah, John Isner's cool too. I think Sam Querrey's pretty funny
Dude,
on
he's
Instagram.
funny.
It's actually like he doesn't seem like a funny guy like at all. Like outside, like when I watched him play, he kind of just looked like a bit nerdy to me. But then he's like actually funny on there, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, I love his content and the ATP tour is embracing him full on. I see they keep collabing with him on
Yeah,
his little voiceover posts. Which
yeah.
which
Shout out
pl-
to the ATP tour.
which player would you want to be in the booth with? Because you will be in the booth one day. So let's just go ahead and manifest.
Respect that. Well,
Yeah.
I love Roger Federer. I'd love to be in the booth with Roger Federer.
Let's go.
Call me a simp. Call me a simp. Like, you're not. To me, he's got like that understanding of the game that like no one else does, and he's, to me, in my eyes, easily the most talented tennis player of all time. And yeah, he's never, he hasn't talked about actually doing that, so he hasn't been said he would do that much in the future. So that'd be pretty cool.
Dude,
How about you?
he really should. He should do at least a one match thing. That would be epic.
I'm sure he'll eventually do it, but I feel like a lot of these players don't have kids, and I'm like, Federer had 4 kids, so now he's like, I'm not bored after I'm retired. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'll come check in with the tennis. I'm gonna be around, but I've got way too much going on in my life to like.
Yeah.
I think some people like retire and then they're like, I have nothing to do, so now I'm gonna come back and like commentate Jeannie Bouchard. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know what to say. It's like Jeannie Bouchard had like 3 kids running around, like a family and like a life. Like, I don't think she'd be shilling at pickleball, but
Yeah.
she is. Got to get the bag still. I got it.
Gotta get the bag, man. That pickleball bag is nice too.
I mean, it's all like fraudulent dollars. I mean, I got the full on haterade for pickleball. I don't care if it doesn't grow the channel. No pickleball in this channel.
Hey,
Like,
but when we bring Jack Sock on,
I'm gonna dunk on him for going to pickleball. That'll be great. I'll be bad cop. You can be good cop.
He'll love it. He'll love it.
Good. I'll be like, how does it feel to sell out? Like, he'll be like, it feels great, man. I actually own my house, unlike you, where you're renting.
He'll say, here, you see this bank account?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, that's why it's fun to hate on those people, like all the guys who go to live, because they just don't care when you like whatever you say. It's like, I just got 400 million. I can't be sad. It's like literally impossible.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, okay, smash or pass. Speaking about that, I'm passing on all the pickleball. But smash or pass, we got some good ones this week, JP. So I'll serve it up first, and then you serve up the next one. Smash or pass, or you just throw it back to me. Smash or pass, serve bots.
I am gonna have to unfortunately pass on serve bots. We've been seeing some serve bots in Wimbledon a little bit. It started with Milos before Wimbledon, and I'm going to be passing on serve bots because, as cool as it is to see that there's these records or maybe some of these serves, if I'm a fan, I want to watch tennis be played. It's like baseball pitchers. If they're too good, I don't want to go to a baseball game when the guy's just absolutely shoving and not giving up any hits.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm conflicted a little bit. I think I'm passing because, again, I love Milos Raonic, but I don't love I'm not watching his first rounds against some like short guy from South America on the outside courts. Like, it's just not enjoyable tennis to watch, and he would probably agree. So I'm not gonna, he is a friend of the show as well. But I will say, speaking about serve bots, Giovanni and Pericard, absolute beast. You're talking about a guy who looks like LeBron. I think he's like almost as tall. He's 6'6". Like, here, I got it here. Well, I think he had like 177 aces or something in like 4 matches.
He's the real deal, man. And I think
it's crazy.
France's soccer team, how they look now, like it reminded me of Pericard when I saw him coming onto the scene. I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid's about to dominate, just like France's front 7 on their soccer team.
Just beasts.
Beasts.
Physical specimens.
Next one, something very familiar with the last 2 weeks. 5-set matches, smash or pass.
Smash it. That's what tennis is about. Like, especially like keeping 5-set format. Like, again, I don't care about growing the game. We don't need more people to watch. We've got enough. Have you noticed that every stadium is packed around the world? There's no empty seats in these big tournaments. Like, 5-set tennis in majors is what sets tennis apart. Because every once in a while, you get an amazing match that's like 5 hours long, and there's just nothing else like it in sports. So, huge smash for me. What about you?
I say smash as well, because I've always been a fan of the 5-setters. Those are the matches you remember growing up watching. And Alcaraz, I think he said it well. When they were asking the players all throughout the week what they preferred, and he was like, for someone like me, I like the 5 sets because if you go down, it gives you a chance to come back and win, which is probably why his record is so freaking good in 5-set matches.
Dude, yeah, you got to love it if you're him. He's 12-1 in 5-set matches. Crazy. And he literally said, when I go into the 5th set, I know my record. I've only lost one match. I'm gonna win this one. He's gangster. Like he goes like one of the commenters on YouTube who's like he had a siesta in the fourth set and just like shit the bed and then like comes back and wins it because he just knows he can. So yeah, I love 5 sets. Smash or pass. Umpire staying in the chair as the ball kids rolled him off the court. JP.
Pass on that, man. I'm sick. I saw that video. I was sick. I'm like, bro, you are exactly when people think of tennis, they're thinking of people like you that are just up there getting served. Like, oh, all you ball kids, ground screw, you're beneath me. Roll me off this court. You could have gotten down, bro, and you stayed up.
I know. I think they come so fast. Like when the rain comes, they're like boom, and then it's just like maybe that's their protocol. So I'm a smash on it. I think it's funny. Like they're like it's kind of like risky. It's like that thing could tip over, and then like you're breaking your back.
That is true, and I would love to speak to that umpire.
Yeah.
Next one. This is a little bit more on the sad side, but winning by default, smash or pass. How would you feel? Madison Keys was the example in this one.
If I was the player, you mean?
Yeah.
Smash. I would love to win by default. I think you're like a win's a win, less time on court, and yeah, I'm not gonna I'll say I feel bad for that person, which I do.
Right.
But, as a fan, yeah, definitely a pass. As a player, smash. How about you?
I might pass. I think I might be. I would love to stir up some commotion if it happened to me. If I'm losing, the person that is beating me has to retire. I would like to go to the tournament and say, "Hey, take me out. I don't deserve this." And then just create all kinds of different chaos. Like, well, actually, hey, sir, you actually need to play because now we have an odd number of people.
Well, you just withdraw.
Yeah, but we gotta stir the drama.
That would be crazy. I don't. Yeah, maybe both players would retire from a match, like one in the match, one after. That would be pretty crazy.
Right? They see them go down with injury and they beat them to the punch. Like, hey, actually, I don't feel good. I'm out.
You're like, wait, I'm out. Now you have to, you won. You won.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that is funny. Okay, smash or pass, Alexander Zverev.
You already know what I'm doing. Smash. Nope. Smash, babe, but pause. Smash. Smash Zverev. Zverev fan. I mentioned it earlier.
JP smashing Zverev. I'm passing. If I had, I respect the game. I respect the guy. No, he's not he's not one of my favorites. So I'll pass for sure.
No offense. All right, next one. Is Iga a sore loser? Everybody saw the clip that happened at Wimbledon. She's always throwing in a little bathroom break.
Smash. I think she is a sore loser. Fair enough. Whatever you got to do to win. Throw in the, Djokovic has been doing the bathroom breaks forever. He basically invented it on the guy's side. A lot of players do it when they're trying to change the momentum. And then she goes to the press conference and there's always like an excuse when she hasn't made it past the quarterfinals of Wimbledon ever. Like I've been talking about this. It's like, it's not really an upset that she lost. Like she isn't good on grass.
I know you've seen that little video of the baby when they hold it over the grass and it kicks its feet up.
Yeah.
People have put that on there like Iga Swiatek every year at Wimbledon.
Yeah. What do you think? Smash or pass?
I will smash it as well. I hand up. I was the one that worded this one. Maybe we shouldn't have said sore loser because like Steven just said, whatever you got to do to win. If I'm on court, I'm also probably going to the bathroom, taking my time and doing my thing if I'm behind in the match. So smash it. But hey, Iga, it's not a knock at all.
Are you doing the whole Djokovic Wimbledon last year breaks his racket like with a few games to go, like halfway through the fifth set on the thing, and then he's like pretending like his wrist is hurt the next return game, like the whole time it's his right wrist, and then clearly it wasn't because he just goes and serves perfectly for the rest of the match. But that's like a total gamesmanship to try and get 19-year-old Carlos Alcaraz off his game. Is that you?
That's me, man. I'm here to win. They don't ask how, they ask how many. How many's he got?
Yeah, that's they're just not gonna love you, and then you'll be confused to why. That's you're like, what?
Then I'll spend the back half of my career winning them over.
Fair enough. That's what, I thought that's what Djokovic was going to do, but apparently not. I think he's given that up on that, which I love. So that's all good. Okay, smash or pass. Rublev smashing himself with his racket.
Smash, of course, because everybody they asked him about it
Do you
in the
like
press.
that? Like you like
Oh,
that he hits himself with his racket?
yeah, I mean, he hasn't sustained an injury yet, so until he hurts himself, I'm gonna ride with him because I
Yeah,
hate
fair
when
enough.
people make the biggest deal out of it with him. They're like, "Oh man, he really needs to see somebody about this. Like, this is not healthy. He's, what something must be going on." And then they ask him about it. He's like, "Yeah, I could probably manage my emotions better, but it kind of is what it is." Like,
He's like, I'm
everybody
Russian.
stop being so soft.
He's like, I'm Russian. You know what our generation, like our ancestors, about to go through? Like this
Right.
is like I have no choice here. Like it's in my DNA.
Yes. What are you doing with it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna say pass, like he's a psycho person, which he is in those moments. I do think like it just doesn't help him win. So I'm
Yeah.
a fan of Rublev. I think he's a great guy. I think he's hilarious. So I'm passing on that. I want him to go sit with Roger Federer for a couple weeks and be like, because Federer was a crazy person in the beginning. Like he was a total emotional wreck. Switched it,
Right.
instant, and won 20 majors. So I think, I'd love to see Rublev in these quarters and semis of majors actually like winning. But, I can see it being very frustrated. So I get it, but I will pass. I don't want him to hit himself.
With that Federer thing, real quick, in the documentary, remember how he was saying in the beginning of his career, like maybe people were telling him to be more emotional, and then he was like, "I was kind of doing it, but it just wasn't me," and I kind of reverted, and that's where I
Right.
worry
Well, it
about.
was like he was talking more about like after. So like when he was like until he was like 21, he was really emotional on court. Like
Gotcha.
he'd throw his racket and he'd be like, oh, like whining around. And then actually his like coach died. His like coach died in a
Mm,
car accident, and he was like, I can't waste my talent anymore. Like I'm wasted. Like I can't. So he started training harder, doing everything more serious. Won Wimbledon like the next year, won 20
wow,
slams. So
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
yeah. So that's maybe that there's something about that, like, but then I think after that he had to like switch it. So he went from like super emotive to like locked up. Like Federer, like,
Right.
in the last 15 years, never showed emotion really, never like hung his head, never was like, oh, like rarely did that. So I think they're more like you should grunt more, like, show more
Right.
emotion because he almost went too cold. He's like, bro, it's either black or white. I'm either like I'm in or
Yeah.
I'm out. So I'm locked in and it's working for me. So I think that's what he meant.
Way great explanation. I appreciate that.
Of course, I'm if you need to know anything about the great one, you come to me. You
Yes,
come to me.
sir.
Okay. Last one. Smash or pass, Alcaraz in fifth sets. Alcaraz's absurd fifth set record.
We smash it, and we will smash it for the rest of his career because I think that record is only going to improve.
Yeah, me too. Smash. This guy's like Donkey Kong. He's Mystic Mac. Like I made the video where I talked about him and Sinner both looking amazing, and people are like, "What do you mean he's looking amazing? He's not even been playing that good." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point. He hasn't even been playing that good, and he's beating He's beating Tiafoe in 5. Tiafoe played amazing, and
Yeah.
Carlos is like, "Not good enough, bro. I'm coming out in the fifth set. One more set to go. I'm taking this. Thank you." Same thing. Next match. Comes out in 4. He doesn't have to play amazing the whole match to win. He just has to play big in the big moments, which he does. It's incredible. I love it. And he's going to give us a lot to talk about for the next 15 years. So we thank him for that in advance.
Dude, something I did see because we're just talking about how sick Alcaraz is right now. I hope I save this. But you know how this was like Djokovic's 20th or not 20th, 60th quarterfinal that he's
Yeah.
made in a major. And it says, as an illustration, this is from Oliver Brown on Twitter. Shout out you, Oliver Brown.
Okay.
It says, as an illustration, Alcaraz would have to reach the same stage at every single Grand Slam until the 2037 French Open just to match it.
That is nuts. That
That's
is nuts.
crazy.
Yeah, those stats are just so crazy. And we talked about the one I think on the pod before of him like to match Djokovic's major title total. Like he'd have to win 2 every year for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Oh,
50. He'd have to win 50% of the majors over the next 10 years.
what a
That just
game.
shows
What a
how
sport.
long, like obviously how dominant, but like how long these guys played for. Like Djokovic has literally been on the tour for almost 20 years at this point. So
Yeah.
that's like it is like Sinner or like Alcaraz just turned 21. So it's like he's got time, but it's like it's he's got a good start. He actually has a better start to his career than Djokovic as far as like majors and all this. So to be fair, he's actually on pace for a higher amount, which is don't put it. And with the way he's playing, like he's not. Let's put it this way: he's not going to be playing against Federer and Nadal and Murray.
Right.
Maybe he's actually, to be honest, he's already better than Murray. That sounds weird to say when Murray just retired, but like
timing.
Alcaraz is already past him as far as like the all-time grades in a way.
Right.
He's already been number one. He's won the same amount of majors.
He just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. Like for one more year. And then he's like for sure better than Murray. I'm just kidding. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, Alcaraz is amazing. I think we're out of time, JP.
Out of time.
What do you think? Let's just get a prediction now because this will probably come out tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. Who's winning Wimbledon on the men's side?
Give me Sinner. I think Sinner gets it done. I know we've been loving on Alcaraz right now, but I want to see Sinner. I want to see Sinner win.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I like it. Yeah, give me Sinner as well. I said it from the beginning. He was my power ranking coming in, and I've been thinking about it. If there's one guy who knows how to like blast through Alcaraz's bullshit of like dancing around, like I'm going to play a good one set, bad one set, it's Sinner. He could come out and just win 3 straight. They're going to play in the semifinals if they both win their quarterfinals. So to me, it's like that maybe should have been the final. But
right. I know Djokovic, it's tough. It's tough. It's got to be
like to me with a compromised Djokovic, he's had a pretty nice route to the final. I will say that's pretty smooth. And if Demon Hour's not healthy, it's really smooth. But like, yeah. Anyways, it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're both picking Sinner. Okay, we'll see.
Women's side.
Give me Lulu's son,
dude. Yes, I mean that would be incredible. And I won't say the same one. And
what do you? How are you?
Shout out to Lil Wayne. Jenna Ostapenko. Did I say it right?
Did Lil Wayne tweet about Jenna Ostapenko?
Oh, yes, bro.
Yelena
Ostapenko. Because she did a little interview, I believe, in her last tournament, or maybe it was like pre-Wimbledon during practice that she was saying, I listened to Lil Wayne before matches, and he caught wind of it, shared it on his story. Shout out. How do you say her first name?
Yelena Ostapenko.
Yelena. And then she, replied to that. And then today he tweeted again, congrats to my girl. I'm watching. I've been watching. Keep going. I'm like,
damn.
We got to get Lil Wayne out there.
Dude, that is nuts. I'm trying to look through your tweets right now. Like, how do you find his
I got you. I think I actually might have tagged you.
Lil Tune. Oh, is it on Instagram?
No, it's on Twitter because I invited him on the podcast.
Yes. Okay, I see that. That is hilarious. He is the man. That's funny. My computer's glitching out. I don't know. We've put out too much content today. Anyways, that's the Slice Tennis Podcast presented by Betway with JP Hovey. We're deep in Wimbledon, so we'll see you guys after the tournament is over with a full recap. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next time.
Let's go
on the show. Peace.